Alright everybody, welcome to the layout. We're going to do a little how-to video today. As you can see, I've been working on getting all of the scenery down between the tracks and next to the rock and getting all the gravel. I got to get some talus in here that I'm going to paint the same gray to match this. Little bigger pieces, like stuff that's just falling off the walls and things. But anyway, I'm going to do a video today. I'm going to show you how to do this. Let me see if I can get a good shot above shot here so you can see how there's all these varying colors and textures right here. So this is Woodland Scenics material, and so is the gray, but the brown stuff right here, this is all a sand that I got from, it's right here, I'll show you. This is sand that came from our local Menards. They're just in 45-pound bags. They're used, people buy them for weight for the back of their trucks. They have traction in the wintertime. So $3.70 for a 45-pound bag, and I have used, so far probably, I've used about from just about the top of that line right there down for all that I've done. So I would probably say that 45-pound bag I bought is going to do the entire layout. So anyway, so what I've done, just to get you caught up in case you didn't see the other video, I've done a base painting. I did a darker brown, and then I did a lighter brown wash on top. And if you look, you can kind of see where those edges kind of poke through, give you some nice color contrasts and things, so that you don't have to be perfect with your ground cover. You can actually have some areas, some flatter areas come through with some better colors. You can see that all the way down. You can see right here, all the way down into here. So I have my colors here all mixed all the way down. Please excuse the ladybug. She's having a meal of some acrylic paint. I did a video about that if you want to go watch it. So I've got the all of this all the way down in between everything right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a tripod, try to get a really good view right here of this area. And I'll show you how to make this coming across here. Now this is going to change a little bit. I'm not going to have as much rock because this is turning into this wall right up here, this retaining wall that's going to be going along here. So obviously we're not going to have a lot of the gray rock and stuff. It's just going to be mostly dirt and things. I haven't decided what to do about this yet. I'm thinking about making a parking lot right here because this is all going to be completely covered right here with superstructure like this, and we're going to have some big buildings and a station with drop down. You're going to have a passenger area right here that they can load in. All right, so let me get this paused for a minute and we will get things set up. All right, so here we go. First thing I'm going to use is this Woodland Scenics Fine Turf Earth. Now I've got a glass here, cup here, and it's filled with a 50-50 dilution of water and white glue with a single squirt of dish detergent in there so it'll thin. So my first process is I'm going to just put some glue, just brush glue all through this area right here, and then come in with the earth and sprinkle it and give myself a little area right here, getting started building up layers. I stir it up every now and then just to make sure it's still nice and mixed. Now I do have a couple of gaps right there. You can see that's all going to get filled with turf and things, so you're not even going to see this after a while. But right now we're just concentrating mostly on just getting where I want my first coatings to go down. So I just keep putting this on. I'll come down a little ways here. I just work in sections at a time. I'm going to make sure I get some areas right up to there. Now you're going to think, oh, you're just wasting a lot of material because you're going to see me going over and over. But the reason I do that is just because I want it to build up, give myself some, so it's not so flat. So that's the whole reason. And this stuff is pretty cheap and you don't use that much to begin with. Okay, so there's the glue. So then what I do is I'm going to pour some in the palm of my hand. So there, got a little bit in the palm of my hand. All right, now I'm going to try to reach around with this camera here and see what I can do. And I'll start filling in these gaps to start off with. I'll get some good areas filled here, so you're not even going to be able to tell here pretty soon. There we go. All right, I pretty well filled that in, so now I'm going to just start filling this all the way. You can see how that's going. I'll try to get a little higher so you can actually see it sprinkle on underneath my hands, so they're not in the way too much. Now all I'm doing, I'm putting this turf in the middle. I'm not going towards the edges, and you'll see why in a little bit here. Why that is the way that is. Okay. That's pretty good to get started with. All right. I'm going to work my way on down the wall while this takes a little bit of time to dry. What I do now is I just pour this back into the jar. Save as much as you can. Okay, so I'm going to move down the side. I'm going to head this way, and I'm going to go down the side of the track. I'm just going to continue doing this. So I'm going to pause for right now, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I've gone down the rest of the track, between the tracks. You can probably see a little bit there. So now what I'm coming back and doing is I am re-wetting this whole area for coat 2. This time I'm going up to where the wall sections are going to go. Not completely up to it, because once I put them in, I'll come back with just a little bit. I'll use a 3x5 card so I can pour them into the areas that I want to pour them into, and I'll get it right up next to the wall that way. But I'm getting here real close to the track at this stage. This is where you really start to bring everything together, is in coat 2. Then coats 3 and 4 are just highlights. I've tried using a dropper, but it just, I don't know. I find just shaking it on with the brush does just as good, and I've actually seemed to have a little more control. But I know a lot of people like using the dropper, but I just like, this way I can get a lot on here. All right, we're getting pretty close here. Gonna get up in here, cross over to where I was yesterday, so I can blend everything in. Oh, my little ladybugs are all around me today. My second one is showing up. He came down from the corner. So now I got both. Okay, so that's pretty wet. And you can smell the glue pretty heavily now. Gotta get a little more right in here so I can blend over. All right. All right, here we go. So that's that. Grab our sand. I just kind of shake it around so I can get to a mixture of the materials. I'm going to shift to my left hand because it's just going to be easier with the camera in the way. There's a nice piece. I'm just going to, oh, that one's too big. Pull that one out of there. Put some more of the stuff there. There we go. Now it's starting to take shape. You can see how we're filling in that those gaps right there now. And you're thinking, oh, he's covered up all his green. Why is he doing that? Well, like I said, this is getting the different layers done. And I'm going to fill in those gaps right there because I'll come back. I do more green on top of this, so don't worry about that. There, now you can't even tell. That was pretty funny. He's reaching out to me. Like, what are you doing? And he's going to come walking right across it, I'm sure. Because, you know, why not? But look how look at that different type of material that's coming together on this. It's looking pretty cool. And you can still see some of the paint. So, you know, those thought, well, it was a complete waste of time doing the paint because I'm covering it all. I'm not. It's actually showing through in spots. I love the different coarseness, different size of the material that's in this sand. It's really great. I'm gonna come back this way a little bit to blend in some. And then I'll put some of the turf right over the top again. All right, so there is coat 2. You can see there's still a fairly good sized difference between this and this because I'm going to come back in and I'm going to put another layer of the turf on top. Now I'm going to do a few brighter areas of the sand just to have some variances. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so again, I'm going to pause it and I'm going to finish up going that way. And that way I can come back and hopefully by the time this will be dry enough to where I can come do the coat of glue across. And then we'll be getting into kind of the wrap-up stages. I'm not going to show all the rest of this, but you'll see it in future videos. Okay, so I'm back and using the same process as in between the first and second coats. I'm building this up with the glue. And this is also helping to lock that second coat down. So we're just going to do a quickie here. Alright, looks pretty wet to me all the way through. Get a little bit more here where I'm going to combine in the two areas, previous and current. Okay. Back to the turf. And we're gonna really concentrate right in the middle now. And we're gonna let stuff come through the sand from below. We're just gonna do kind of just spotty areas like that. See how that's coming together? Might bring it down a little bit in some spots closer to the track or closer to the wall, but mostly right now we're just focusing right in the middle. Sorry about the noise outside. We got somebody out with a leaf blower. I don't know if I said that before or not. Getting to the end of the season, everybody's trying to get everything done in the yards. Getting close. We'll put a little bit right there, a little bit more right there. Come on around the corner here. Get some right in here. Get right to here. There we go. All right. I'm pretty happy with that. That's looking really good. I know I said I wasn't going to do any rock, the gray rock, but I think I'm going to continue some that might be over the years from maintenance on the track that's been kicked. You can see the rock right here, so I'm just going to, and this will all get locked in a little later. Excuse me, Mr. Ladybug. And it just adds more variety and depth. I also have buff over there too. I haven't added that yet. I may add some of that in here, but I'm really liking what I'm getting so far. Well, let me go grab some. Let's see what it looks like. I want to pause it for a minute. Okay, here's a little bit of the buff in. Just a few spots here and there. Just adding, and he's out cruising across my grass. A dingus. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up, I think, doing a little more. And he got some glue on the top of them too. Oh, guess he was just a little too close. Put some right here, a little bit right here. Okay. I'll probably put a little bit right here. I'm going to get the fine ballast for the roadbed, so it'll be a lot smaller than this. This is the medium. And if I don't like it, if it's not enough, I'll grind it down a little bit more. Okay, so that's that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause for a second, set up, and I'm going to start getting the turf right here. All right, so last step, I've got a handful of coarse turf. Get a little bit here. See? Okay. Same thing. and I'll move this around later with a toothpick to get it in the spots that I want it. So right now I'm just kind of continuing what I had here out this way so that everything kind of blends together. All right, I'm going to pause it for. Okay, last step is I've just been coating the bushes with the glue, and this will make them really hard and stuck. So there we go. So I'm going to take my toothpick here. Dab things down just a little bit so it's not so crazy. There we go. All right. So I can also see that I needed just a little more sand in a couple of spots here and there. Okay. Now, this will dry the same color as all of this. It's just super wet right now. I may pause this and a little later this afternoon. I'll come back and we'll get what this whole area looks like blended in with that. All right, it's done. As you can see. Well, almost done. The bushes right here and things like that, I've got to continue all the way down here. But as you can see, the actual dirt and everything is all done. So there we go. And it did blend in beautifully. It's dried up to where you really can't tell where I started and where I ended last night and where I started today. So there we go. Here's what it looks like coming down this way. Again, just got to put the bushes along mostly the front edge right here. Not going to do hardly anything between the rails because theoretically maintenance would be taking care of that. So just put some around the edges there and we're finished. And then these walls right here, I've got to weather this wall to match this wall, and then that's what goes right along this entire way right here. All right, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope it's helped on the showing how to do this. I mean, you can really see the depths to the layering there. I think it looks pretty good. All right, so thanks for watching.